let's talk teacher tips as we start thinking about the upcoming school year. This could be for first year teachers or any teacher, because I feel like we always have something to learn from other teachers. Number one, because the first thing that we do as teachers is set up our classroom, right? And so one of the most important things you can do as a teacher is make sure that your classroom layout is structured and there's just kind of like a system behind what's there. So think about where kids are going to go to get their resources, where kids are going to go if they need to use the bathroom, where kids are going to go for a calm down break, where your teacher resources are, where your desk is. Because the more systematic you have your classroom set up, the less chaotic it is when you're teaching or when kids are working on their like individual work or whatever it might be. With that being said, classroom decor is so fun and it makes your classroom feel cozy and at home, but it shouldn't be the first thing on your list. The way your classroom is laid out, how things are prepped, how you prepare things for your students before they come in on that first day of school, that's the most important part. Your decor and all the fun stuff can happen later in the year. It's okay if your classroom doesn't look Pinterest worthy right at the beginning of the year. Let's just all assume right now that we have something to learn every single year that we teach. So that means if you are a first year teacher, you are going to learn things probably every single day throughout your career. And if you're a veteran teacher who's taught 10, 20, 30 years, you're still gonna learn something every single day that you work. The moment that we stop allowing ourselves to have this like growth mindset and feel like we can learn from other people, the moment is that we just don't like collaborate and work together like we really can. We are all in the market to best support kids, so if somebody has an idea, it doesn't hurt to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. As a teacher, you will try things over and over and find that they won't work. They won't always work, and that's part of life. It's okay to adjust, change something, and try again. That is how we continue to learn and grow. And also, there's not a one-size-fits-all for all students. So a lot of times, you have to try and try and try again until you find something that really works, especially when you're working with students that have more challenging behaviors. From a behavior standpoint, that also means if you're starting a new behavior intervention plan or you're starting to make things more structured and you're being more consistent with follow-through on behaviors, when you implement a plan like that, it will always get worse before it gets better, but it will get better eventually. You just have to keep staying consistent with it. Here's one thing I always try to remind myself of at the beginning of the school year. You can never be too explicit with whatever it is that you're teaching, whether it is how you get student resources, how you walk down to Miss China's room, how you follow a student's behavior intervention plan, or how you fill out a student's behavior intervention plan like point sheet that they have. When you are training in paraprofessionals, when you're teaching new students, when you're just starting to like jump into that beginning of the school year routine, the more explicit you are and the more that you like explain everything and practice those things and model and show what you're expecting, the smoother the rest of the year will go. And here's the thing, if you're not super explicit right away at the beginning of the year and you're not step-by-step showing things to students and you find that you're like a couple months in and your classroom is chaos because kids are not following the rules, they're not following the expectations because they just were not as explicitly taught as you wish they would have been, you can always start over. You can always start the second month into school and start a new set of rules or make sure you explicitly teach them. It's okay to do that. Kids will buy into it no matter what time of the year. I feel like as a teacher, it's so easy to put so much pressure on ourselves because we want to create these engaging, entertaining lessons. We want kids to be excited about learning. We want kids to learn and make sure they're actually like receiving all of the knowledge that we're teaching, and sometimes it doesn't go as smoothly as we want it to. Sometimes it's a flop. Sometimes we don't even teach the skill the right way. And guess what? Kids are the most forgiving people on the planet. They understand, they're kind, and they're just so receptive to whatever happens that I feel like sometimes we are harsher critics for ourselves than anybody else is. So give yourself grace on that. With that being said, I feel like kids are honestly the easiest part of our job, and it's the adults that can make things a little bit more challenging. So the thing I like to remind myself of is that if it's right for kids, it's right. And then also everybody does the best they can with what they have. Whether it's parents, other teachers, paraprofessionals, or whatever, people are doing the best they can with what they have. We all have the same goal. Sometimes we just have to listen and try to understand and then work together as a team to solve whatever it is that's going on. This next one is something I'm still working on, but as a teacher, you are overworked and in my opinion underpaid. And the reality is you can work outside of contract time all of the time to try and get everything done, and you'll still not get everything done. And at the end of the day, you are the only person that is going to advocate for you how you need, and you have to do it because you are worth it. And if you don't stand up for yourself, it'll just keep happening over and over and over again. So stand up for yourself. You are worth it. You have a contract for a reason. So that's my TED Talk on that. We want teachers to stay in the profession, and so if you don't want to get burnt out, it's important to set those boundaries. There are a lot of different social skills curriculums out there, and a lot of them are great ways to guide conversation and to teach explicit skills. However, there are a lot of opportunities all throughout the day that will happen that present opportunities for us as teachers to model and teach social skills as well. So I think the most important thing we can do is slow down, allow ourselves to step back from some of that core academic time, even if it's just for a minute or two, and talk through the social skill that needs to be taught. I think sometimes we try and just graze over it or skip it because we don't have time. But taking time to teach those little hidden social skill moments all throughout the day will save us time in the end. So teach those social skills when the opportunity presents itself, because it will happen all the time. Makeup's done. I have to go get ready quick, but let me know what other teacher tips you have in the comments below. Let's help each other learn from all the amazing teachers out there.